One of the most common questions among those who approach cosmic horror is, where should I start reading Lovecraft? What works are recommended to get into this universe? Or, what can I show someone so they don't get scared off by something too dense, but still enjoy it? Over time, this genre has captured the attention of many English speakers, so here you'll find the ultimate guide to the best Lovecraftian works. And not only will you discover which is the best one to start with, but also which one represents the finest in each category. I'm going to share recommendations for movies, anime, manga, comics, video games, and books so you can choose the entry point that best fits your taste. Welcome to this experience, where cosmic horror unfolds in all its forms. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, and leave a comment with your own recommendations or impressions. It's the best way to support this kind of guide. We begin with literature, the very heart of this universe. If you want to start with something short but powerful, two stories stand out as perfect introductions: The Color Out of Space and Dagon. Both are brief, direct, and effectively capture the essence of cosmic horror. In the first, a meteorite crashes onto a farm and begins to contaminate everything: plants, animals, water, and people. In the second, a shipwrecked survivor encounters a creature that shouldn't exist and whose memory haunts him until death. Simple, yet deeply unsettling tales. Now, if you're looking for a work that showcases all of H.P. Lovecraft's talent, that's undoubtedly At the Mountains of Madness. Presented as a scientific report, it recounts an expedition to Antarctica in search of geological findings, which ends up discovering an alien city and a civilization that predates humanity. What they uncover completely reshapes the understanding of Earth's history and unleashes ancient horrors. It's the foundation of many modern works, including films like The Thing, Alien, and Prometheus. Cosmic horror finds fertile ground in video games. While titles like Elden Ring or Bloodborne are clearly inspired by Lovecraft, they don't fully capture the essence of cosmic horror. For that, the ideal game to start with is Dead Space. Here you take on the role of Isaac Clarke, an engineer who arrives at a mining ship called the USG Ishimura, which has lost contact. Upon boarding, the team discovers that the crew has been massacred by creatures known as necromorphs, spawned by an unknown alien force. The story expands to connect with an ancient intelligence seeking to transform entire worlds. Each game in the trilogy delves deeper into madness, suffering, and the emptiness of confronting something beyond human understanding. However, if there's a game that takes cosmic horror even further, it's Fear and Hunger. A brutal RPG set in a decaying medieval world where hopelessness is absolute. The fragmented narrative, punishing mechanics, and oppressive setting make it an unforgettable experience. The game perfectly reflects key themes: human insignificance, inevitable madness, superior entities, and fatalism. A terrifying experience in every sense. When it comes to anime and cosmic horror, many titles touch on the theme indirectly, but few represent it with real fidelity. One of the rare series that directly captures that tone is Housing Complex C. This 5-episode anime is set in a small apartment complex in the city of Kurosaki, Japan. Kimi, a young girl living there with her mother, watches how the arrival of foreign workers changes the neighborhood's dynamics. Among them is Yuri, another young girl with whom she quickly becomes friends. But what seems like an everyday story takes a dark turn. The complex is tied to an ancient cult that worshipped otherworldly entities. What begins as a quiet tale becomes a bloody experience filled with horror and Lovecraftian symbolism. It's ideal for beginners since it's not too complex and captures the core of the genre well. Now, if you're looking for a work that fully embodies cosmic horror in anime, the only title worthy of that label is Neon Genesis Evangelion. This anime revolutionized Japanese animation and was the first to popularize concepts tied to cosmic horror, even if many viewers didn't realize it at the time. Set in a post-apocalyptic world after the second impact, it follows Shinji Ikari, recruited by Nerve to pilot an EVA, a biomechanical unit meant to fight the Angels. However, these aren't traditional enemies, and the EVAs aren't just machines. What begins as sci-fi evolves into a profoundly existential and symbolic narrative, filled with conspiracies, cults, and a third impact meant to erase human individuality. What looks like a mecha anime soon reveals itself as a tale of hopelessness, contact with the ineffable, and pure cosmic horror. If you're looking for the perfect movie to introduce someone to Lovecraft's world, with creatures, action, and that touch of cosmic horror present in every scene, yet still entertaining, The Void, 2016, is a foolproof choice. The story begins with Officer Daniel Carter, who finds a wounded man on the road and takes him to a local hospital, nearly abandoned after a fire. Shortly after, the place is surrounded by hooded figures in white robes with a strange triangular symbol, preventing anyone from entering or leaving. Inside, chaos erupts with grotesque creatures and hallucinatory visions. As the situation spirals further, Carter and the survivors discover that the hospital is a gateway to another dimension. Cosmic forces are trying to open a connection between realities, and those trapped inside must face not only physical threats, but also a madness that goes beyond the human mind. It's an excellent film for those unfamiliar with cosmic horror but looking for an intense experience. Even if they don't catch all the nuances, they'll have a fascinating time. On the other hand, if you're looking for a deeper and more disorienting experience, In the Mouth of Madness is the film that best captures what it feels like to be exposed to the inexplicable. While it isn't a direct Lovecraft adaptation, it faithfully portrays what happens when a human mind comes into contact with unfathomable forces. The protagonist, John Trent, is a fraud investigator hired to find Sutter Kane, a horror author who vanished before releasing his final novel. As he investigates, he discovers that those who read Kane's books begin to turn violent, losing touch with reality. This leads him to a town called Hobbs End, which shouldn't even exist. There he begins to unravel a series of events that confront him with the ineffable. Not suitable for beginners, but a gem for those already exploring this kind of storytelling. In the world of manga, many people immediately think of Junji Ito, nicknamed the Japanese Lovecraft, when it comes to cosmic horror. But instead of starting with him, there's another creator whose work surprises and fascinates from the very first page, Gutanabe's adaptations. This Japanese mangaka has perfectly translated Lovecraft's universe into panels. His detailed and oppressive black and white art style creates a constant sense of looming threat. He has adapted essential works like The Call of Cthulhu, The Color Out of Space, The Shadow over Innsmouth, and At the Mountains of Madness. If you find any of these titles in physical format, don't hesitate. They are true treasures for anyone who enjoys cosmic horror. That said, the best cosmic horror manga still comes from Junji Ito. It's Hellstar Ramina, a story that Lovecraft himself would likely have admired had he read it. It tells the tale of a wandering planet headed for Earth, devouring stars and planets along the way. The daughter of the scientist who discovered the planet, named Ramina, is hunted by a mob who believes sacrificing her will stop the end. Society collapses in panic, violence, and madness while an incomprehensible force draws closer. This is a perfect example of modern cosmic horror. Comics are an ideal gateway into this universe, and one of the best entry points is the anthology Cthulhu Tales, published by Boom Studios. This series includes standalone stories set in a world full of Lovecraftian references, where the threat of losing one's sanity is constant. The stories vary, but the atmosphere, tension, and cosmic horror are always present. It's perfect for getting into the genre in an accessible and visually engaging format. But if you're looking for a more intense and psychologically disturbing work, Nameless is a bold but brilliant choice. This story blends cosmic horror with science fiction, following a group of astronauts investigating an asteroid headed for Earth. But the asteroid isn't just a space rock. It's a fragment of ancient chaos that unleashes apocalyptic visions and breaks the boundaries of time and space. As the mission progresses, reality crumbles, the crew goes mad, and the incomprehensible takes hold. This one is not for beginners, but it's a masterpiece if you're already familiar with the genre's codes. And finally, we close the list with shows, a great entry point for those who enjoy long-form storytelling. An excellent introduction is Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, an anthology of 8 episodes, each directed by a different filmmaker, exploring horror from various angles, gothic, psychological, and yes, cosmic as well. Episodes like The Autopsy are especially good for getting into this branch of horror. There are other options with cosmic undertones like Love, Death, and Robots or 30 Coins, but none are as powerful as the first season of True Detective. The story follows 2 detectives in Louisiana investigating ritualistic murders tied to a dark cult. What starts as a crime case transforms into a spiral of symbolism, madness, and invisible forces. The narrative fragments to the point where it's hard to tell what's real and what isn't. A work considered by many to be the best first season of any series ever. And that concludes this ultimate guide to diving into cosmic horror. Now you have a clear path to start, with options for all tastes and mediums. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, and comment on which work impacted you the most or which one you'd add to the list. Your participation helps this community grow so we can keep sharing more content like this.